Hello and welcome to another edition of Night Terror's Phantoms, brought to you by Commando Gaming and BattleTech Battles. We're going to continue our series on the Heavy Metal DLC. This is episode 15, so if you haven't seen the previous 14 episodes, please check those out so you can understand what is going on. So we have completed our travel to another location. I'm just kind of looking through the store. As you can see, we are at Adar. We're here to do a flashpoint primarily, but there's probably going to be some other great missions. Before we move forward, I'm going to go ahead and look in the store and the hiring hall to see if there's anybody that is too good for us not to hire. Right, so we have Jekyll here. Jekyll is a really nice player for us to add because it has he has multi-target and he has sensor lock. Now he does not have bulwark, so it's not a perfect world, but I really like the possibility of adding Jekyll here. We also have Witness, who has 8 tactical. This is a definite add to our team. So the question is, what in our barracks? Now that we've traveled, we're going to kind of do the annual evaluation of some of our pilots, and some of them are just not going to make the grade, and we're going to have to say, see you later. So we're going to say goodbye to Showtime. And we're going to say goodbye to Tornado. These guys actually didn't do any missions for us. They were kind of backup mechs, backup pilots. But I can't pass up adding this type of talent to my team. So we're definitely going to add Witness here. The base salary is a little higher, but at this point in the game, it's not really that big of a deal. And Jekyll is going to be a must-add as well.
New mech warriors available.
All right, so sometimes you have to say, you're not good enough to stay with our unit. We're going to move on. So Jekyll is a great addition here. Slightly higher salary, but I'm not going to worry about an extra $8,000 a month, given how much we're earning at this point in the game. Witness here. I mean, us having 2 really good sensor lockers here that both have initiative is really good. Now, Witness does not have the gunnery that Twinkle has, so he's definitely going to be our backup pilot, and that's fine. But we're definitely going to keep him in the mix. So that's all great stuff. So let's take a look at what we have in the mech bay. Just to remind everybody, we've got our lovely Marauder. Let's actually organize this correctly. So we have our Orion and the Marauder. Then we have the Archer, the Warhammer, the Grasshopper. I just find it's easier to keep my mechs organized by tonnage. It helps me make decisions about what I'm going to do. Alright, then we have a couple mechs that are in repair. They're not significant right now. For example, this Shadowhawk I'll probably sell as soon as it's done. Maybe even the Centurion as well. I'll probably keep the Quick Draw because it's a good backup scout. As you can see, we have a full mech bay now, so we have plenty of room for salvage. So let's get into this mission. So what I want to do now is we can actually start the flashpoint. This is a fun flashpoint. The main reason I want to do the flashpoint is the fact Oh, there's some good missions here on this planet. So we're going to be in a good spot here. But we're going to start the flashpoint. And this is the flashpoint where this might be a spoiler. So if you haven't played flashpoints before, I'm giving you a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. This is the mission where we end up helping them get the Hatchtman to safety. So, not so exciting now. This was a really big mission when the Flashpoint DLC came out because it was the first time in most cases where people saw the Hatchetman, which is not really that impressive of a mech, to be honest with you. But what I do want is the bonus award is uncommon items. So will we get some of the new weapons in the bonus award? That's what I want to know. So we're going to begin this flashpoint. Alright, so this is basically starts out as a convoy mission. New battle mech. Basically talking about the Hatchetman. So it starts out as a convoy mission, and then the second part. Alright. Do you want to do the Alpha Sentry team, or do you want to roll the dice with the unknown? So we're going to take the Alpha Sentry point. Doesn't really matter here. Basically, you know the level of the mission pretty good if you take the accept the alpha. If you take the unknown, then you might get a 2 skull opponent or a 4 or 5 skull opponent. So we're just going to take the known. So we're going to take the flashpoint. We're going to max out salvage. Usually on this mission, you're up against an awesome. So I would really like to get some awesome parts. That would be awesome. Alright, so we're in a jungle. I wanted to use the Warhammer, but it's really not the best map for the Warhammer. So we're going to leave the Warhammer. I know you guys might be disappointed. We'll get to the Warhammer. But I don't want to use the Warhammer in a hot map. It's just not going to be a good idea. As you can see, we have our Grasshopper, which we set up as a brawler. So we'll be showcasing that in this video, since we're not going to be showcasing the Warhammer. We'll add Jekyll as our new pilot to the Marauder. Question is... Yeah. So it's going to be interesting here because we actually have 3 pilots that have sensor lock. And that's just how it's working out right now. That is a very interesting scenario. I could even do Witness here. But I don't want to do that. So I could do that just so I could have 2 players with an initiative bonus, but 3 sensor lockers should be a very interesting way to go here. I could have taken the Rifleman as well, but I'd rather have the Archer than the Rifleman in this mission. Plus, it's a little light for this mission. So let's just get into this mission here, right? So this basically starts out as a convoy mission. Then we're going to have a situation where we immediately go into basically a defend the base mission, and one of our mechs is going to be pulled out and replaced by the Hatchtman. Not so happy about that because I think our mechs are going to be superior to the Hatchtman, but that's how this scenario runs out, so it will be fine.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to guess that Harebrained Schemes didn't change the script too much on flashpoints because they're already fairly developed. But we'll see what happens here. So we're going to move up.
Location confirmed.
I know this map pretty well. We're actually going to sprint up the Grasshopper. I want to get the Grasshopper in melee range as quickly as possible because we have all those lovely small lasers. Definitely want to use cover here so we can minimize damage.
On my way.
Alright, let's push up with the Grasshopper right here because the enemy's going to be right over the ridge here. I'm actually surprised that they're letting us push up this far without any contact yet. Maybe they did change this flashpoint because historically you fight a lance before you even capture this capture zone. So that's kind of interesting. So let's just get everybody in position here. We're definitely going to let our slower mechs advance down the road before we capture the convoy checkpoint. So we're going to move our Orion up a little. There's really no hurry here since we're not up against an enemy. We'll probably use the Archer
On my way.
to secure the convoy point. So we can have everybody else move forward and the Archer can stay to support the convoy, keep it moving, and still provide us some weapon support. So we'll move the Archer as far forward into the capture zone as we can. We need to keep pushing forward with everybody else, especially the Grasshopper, because we want the Grasshopper to be able to get into the enemy as quickly as possible. Oh, it didn't capture because we were right on the edge. So we'll take care of that right now. That's fine. It gets everybody else further ahead. I've got to watch for, because they have changed the script on this flashpoint. It's different. In the past, you fought a lance before you started the convoy. So everything has the potential to be different now. So we're actually going to sprint our Grasshopper in here because I want him to get into the enemy as quickly as possible. Alright, we got an assassin. Not too worried about that. And we have a Jenner. Not too worried about that. Usually it's the second map lance on this map that is a challenge. Actually, there's usually 3 lances, if I'm not mistaken, on this mission. So the question is, are we going to get 2 lances at once at the end, since we didn't get one at the beginning? Good start there. We're going to have to conserve some of our AC-10 ammo in this situation. Push up with the Marauder here. Well, we should be able to finish off this Jenner hopefully before it can even shoot. Not quite. convoy is moving up.
Good to go.
Alright, we got our glorious archer. I do love this thing. We've put some plus missiles on it, so let's see how much that impacts things. We're just gonna alright, so we got 2 Jenners and an assassin. So let's just hit the Jenner that already has structural damage. Maybe we can finish it off. There we go.
Target neutralized.
Alright, convoy's going to keep moving up. Nothing surprising here. Alright. So we have our grasshopper. It cannot get into melee range yet. So we're going to keep it in cover so that the next round it can go in hopefully and do melee. Now we can actually just use our sensor lock here. I think that's what we're going to do.
Got a lock.
And again, they're not really using the assassin the way it should be used. The assassin should always be jumping. It should never be walking. I'm just going to make this Jenner pay, take advantage of that sensor lock.
Receiving you.
Do the same thing with the Marauder here.
Position.
Again, we're just taking advantage of the fact that we already have... We're going to start saving our AC ammo at this point.
Copy that.
Not really needed against a Jenner. This mission is going way too easy right now, which tells me we're going to get a surprise at the end. Alright, just go ahead and hit this Jenner again with our LRM 35. Nice.
Reporting.
Turn the Jenner into a pogo stick. Alright, now our grasshopper is in range. So actually, we're going to do melee on this assassin. So the reason I'm going to do that is because this assassin is fully armored. It does have some evasion. I want to show you how dangerous this grasshopper can be. As you can see, it has 120 melee because we have some enhancements to it. It also has 120 small laser, which will fire after we hit with the melee. So potentially this is 240 damage on an assassin. This should take this assassin out with 1 melee. Let's see. Alright, significant damage already. Oh, so close. I think the lasers just hit in a way that kept it going, but that thing is basically paper. As you saw, we did significant damage there.
How's it going?
So that was a lot of fun. Now, the
Location confirmed.
assassin, by going in with melee, which is not a good idea with an assassin, has lost a lot of its evasion. Hit percentages here are lousy for the LRM, so we're just going to go with small lasers.
Roger that.
But it already had so much damage from the grasshopper that that was an easy kill, even with 2 medium lasers. Alright, as you can see, our convoy is pushing ahead, so we kind of need to push ahead with it. Alright, we're definitely going to save our AC ammunition here and our LRM ammunition and just destroy this Jenner. should be plenty. Oh, I'm surprised. That's okay. I mean, we're gonna take it out pretty quickly. Just kind of finish it off with the Marauder here. We're gonna save the large laser just so we can save some heat. There we go.
That's kill.
Right, so that's the initial lance of enemies. And our, as you can see, our convoy is just booking it. They're not waiting for us at all. So we're fortunate that the enemy has not moved forward here. This mission is much easier so far than the original Flashpoint. I say so far because I know that's going to change. There's no way that they made this Flashpoint easier. I didn't think it was a particularly hard Flashpoint before. That's the only reason I could see that they maybe made it less hard. Or this is basically a two-part Flashpoint, so maybe... Alright, so here we go. Here comes the reinforcements.
Good work, Commander. Hold this position until
Alright, we got a 20-tonner, a 50-tonner, and a 50-tonner. There's nothing coming here that really scares me. Alright, so the rest of the convoy's moving forward. So they just made this mission easier. There's no other way around it. I mean, a Locust, really? We've got, with the firepower that we have, for them to bring a Locust is kind of comical. Alright, let's see what we're up against. So we're up against a Locust, Trebuchet, and a Trebuchet. So, really not a big threat here at all. We could sensor lock this Locust, but I've got good hit percentages already, so we're just going to go ahead and take the shot there. Pilot injury.
that is something good.
Alright, we did lose a vehicle. That should be fine. That just takes away a bonus. Not particularly worried about that. Alright, so we have the Trebuchet. Let's go ahead and give it a full salvo before it can shoot.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Commander.
Move up our Marauder.
Got it.
We'll also hit that Trebuchet. We'll go ahead and use our AC and large laser here. We're nice and cool.
Standing by.
See, the good thing about having the Archer kind of be the mech that is the goalkeeper with the convoy keeping it moving is it can still provide a lot of firepower. 90% hit chance. This is going to do a lot of damage to this Trebuchet.
Firing on target.
Nice. They're going to attack the convoy. Hopefully they will evacuate. Before any more vehicles get destroyed.
What are your orders, Skipper?
Alright, we can't. We want to keep moving our Grasshopper forward so we can use our melee ability. Here we go. we can actually shoot everything at it, at this trebuchet, even though we can't melee. So that's a lot of damage. So that's 100, 220 damage on this trebuchet, who's already taken significant damage. This should be good. Lots of firepower, lots of injuries, lots of damage. Great. That trebuchet goes after our grasshopper. It's actually just putting us in a position where that grasshopper can finish it off next round. We have our second trebuchet. Trying to take out one of those vehicles before they can escape. But it just doesn't have enough firepower. We're going to put all of our Orion's firepower into this trebuchet. Hopefully get rid of it before it can fire again.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Ready for orders.
Alright, we almost have knockdown on this trebuchet as well. There goes knockdown. There goes some weapons. A pilot injured before knockdown. And we already... Alright, so that's 2 pilot injuries on that trebuchet. Alright, and our escorted mechs are going to give us a help here. Alright, so what do I want to do? I think we have to hit this trebuchet here. That thing is pretty much done at this point.
Good job.
Alright, there goes our escorted vehicles. So we'll get a successful mission completion on this one. Again, they kind of nerfed this mission. It was... Oh, enemy contact. So is that another lance? Like I said, maybe they gave us more enemies at the end of the mission. We'll see what happens here. Locust shooting at our grasshopper. Not anything I'm too worried about. That grasshopper has got a ton of armor. Alright, they're going to try to do some flanking. That's fine. Let's finish off this trebuchet. This is going to be total overkill, but that's alright. There we go. CT destroyed, and watch these small lasers. Like, there's just no reason to shoot those. I wish the AI for your players would say, you know what, he's already destroyed. Let's not shoot the small lasers, because that does increase your heat. Alright. Let's move forward. I just want to finish off this trebuchet before it can shoot at us again. Quite do it there.
Yes, Commander.
Hopefully, Marauder has to step out of cover to do this, but it's probably going to be worth it. Alright, there goes the trebuchet. Now we just have 2 locusts to deal with. Not too worried about that. But we're still going to use cover. We want to get through this mission without any structural damage. Archer versus the Locust. One hit kill.
Target eliminated.
They just don't have the armor to stand up to that kind of firepower. Right, we got 1 half damage Locust left. And of course he wants to take a shot at our archer, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I've said this before. It would be cool if occasionally the enemy just said, you know what, we're just gonna bail. Like, just called you on the radio and said, we're just gonna let you have this one because we have no chance. Alright, payload has been secured. Long-range sensors are picking up inbound Capellian ships in 45 minutes. That doesn't even give me enough time to fly you back for repairs. Yeah, this is where we have to give up one of our mechs for the Hatchtman.
Mission successful.
So that's kind of disappointing. I got to figure out what I want to give up in this scenario. Actually gives me some tough decisions to make, but we'll cross that bridge later. No structural damage. We got some good XP. Alright. I guess we take the trebuchet parts, unless there's some weapons. No plus weapons. We'll take the Jenner part, so we can complete a Jenner. We'll take a locust part, so we can complete a locust just to sell it, basically. We'll sell the Jenner as well, obviously. We got the assassin part and the other locust part and the other Jenner part. We basically got all the salvage, so. Except we didn't get a small laser and a jump jet. So pretty happy with that outcome. So we're going to immediately go into the second incident in this flashpoint. It's actually a pretty fast flashpoint. Just 2 missions. Alright, we got a locust. And we got a Jenner. Alright, and then we immediately have to decide what do we want to take on this mission. I think I have to give up the grasshopper here because I want the firepower of the archer and the Orion, and I want the buff, the 10% lance buff defense that you get with the Marauder. So we're gonna have to leave it at this. Then the question is, do we want to change our pilots? All right, I'll take Twinkle instead of Archer. But I want Twinkle in the Marauder, because the Marauder has the least amount of firepower. I guess it doesn't matter, because they both have sensor lock. But I'll put Twinkle in the Marauder, because I'm probably more likely to use the Marauder for sensor lock, and she has the Master Technician buff. So that sounds pretty good. So basically this turns into a protect the base mission, so to speak. So they're going to try to destroy the base, and we also have to make sure the Hatchtman survives in this scenario. Again, the hardest part of this mission is actually using the Hatchtman in a decent way, because the Hatchtman just it doesn't do anything for me. The melee is okay, the weapons are not that great, and the armor is not that great. So I'm just not a Hatchtman fan. I know there's some people that like it, mainly because it's cool looking. I don't really see another reason. You know, yeah, you can use it as a melee brawler, but at this stage in the game, there are better options at that tonnage to be a brawler. I would rather have a Wolverine, for example, for that tonnage.
Command interface initiated.
Okay, so we have historically with this flashpoint, although things have clearly changed a little bit, the enemy comes from here first, and then there's the second group that comes up this hill. So what we need to do, our Hatchetman has an AC-10, 2 medium lasers. It does have a melee of 110. I guess that isn't horrible. So we're going to actually use the Hatchetman to sprint down a little bit. We'll do the same thing with the Orion. Do the same thing with the Marauder. The Archer we're going to keep up close to the base because it can still provide substantial firepower at long range, and it can turn around and start attacking that second lance. So that's my thought process there. Alright, so we'll move the Marauder up. Can't quite get to cover and shoot, but that's okay. And what's the evasion? So the evasion on this commando is really good, so we're just going to go ahead and sensor lock here.
Sensors locked on.
See if we can't take out that commando with our first salvo. Oh! Alright, I wish I had seen that Hunchback come up, otherwise I would have used the Hunchback as the primary target. As it is, the Hunchback has more evasion than the commando. But it's still a better target for the AC-10. So let's take that shot. Not what I initially planned to do here, but that's okay. Another 50-ton mech moving in. Either a Centurion or maybe another Hunchback. Alright. So we're in a situation now where the Hunchback just has to be the primary target. Which is fine.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Let's actually move the archer down just a little. Should be able to use its medium lasers. Maybe not. Yes. Okay, so it can use its medium lasers and its LRMs on this Hunchback. If I had a offensive push right now, I would go ahead and maybe go for the leg on that Hunchback. Maybe we'll get lucky here. No. We did get knocked down,
Take a critical hit.
so that's good. I'll take that. Alright, the commando. Okay, so it's SRM build on that commando. Not too worried about that.
What's up, bub?
In fact, we can actually, why not? We're going to go ahead and use the Hatchetman's melee on this commando. Not a horrible idea.
What's my way to do it?
Took off the evasion.
That one's
Did
gonna leave a mark.
significant damage to the commando. Oh, and another Hunchback. I was kind of thinking that's what that would be. So we're going to move our Marauder into cover here. Interesting choices. All good choices here. So... and we don't have multi-target, unfortunately. 80. Yeah, we're just going to take our chances and hit this Hunchback.
All weapons. Go.
I think that was the smart play there, just because we can't do multi-target with Twinkle. Hunchback's back up. hit the Hatchtman with its AC-20.
Armor breach.
As you can see, the Hatchtman's already in trouble. It just doesn't have a lot of armor. So let's move the Orion up. Do some multi-target here. See if we can't get 2 enemies off the field. Use the lasers on the commando. Use the SRM on the commando. And we'll use everything else on the Hunchback.
Engaging multiple targets.
Commando's pretty much garbage at this point. So I do want to get rid of this other Hunchback before we have it shoot its AC-20 again. Pilot injury, knockdown. Alright, there goes that Hunchback. We'll get 3 pieces of a Hunchback if we want it. Here comes the reinforcements. Oh, the reinforcements landed in a different spot. Okay. I've never seen them land there before. It's actually a better place for them to land. Because when they originally scripted it, it was really hard for your Lance to engage the first group and then sprint back and engage the second group. So this is actually a good thing. So we've got good armor on the Marauder still, so we'll move out of cover so we can start hitting this second Lance hard. Not the best hit percentages here, but the Locust doesn't have too much going for it, so I'm alright with that. Alright, they're going after the Hatchetman really hard.
They've blown past my armor. Standing by.
Alright, so we're actually gonna let's use the Hatchetman to finish off this commando.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. Get it off the field.
Hostile eliminated.
They're going to keep attacking the buildings. We should be okay there. Alright, we got to start moving towards the other Lance and still hopefully finish off this Hunchback here. We can actually do a precision strike. Just to make sure we get knocked down here. We got a pilot injury, and then it's going to be a knockdown. Is that going to be enough to finish off this pilot? No. Needs one more injury. We could probably actually use the Hatchetman to finish off that Hunchback there. Alright, we need to move up the Archer. We need to start hitting these. See if we can't finish off this Locust here. There we go.
One less target.
They really have made this flashpoint a lot easier. I don't know if maybe they got complaints that this flashpoint was too hard. But it was already fairly manageable. We're really going to have to hit them hard now to make sure that we don't have too much building damage. We're going to let this Hatchetman finish off this Hunchback. Unless he misses. How does a mech that's designed for melee miss an opponent that's on the ground? Like, that should not happen. Let's move up our Marauder. Not the best hit chances again on this Locust, but doesn't take much with the Locust. There he goes. We gotta advance to keep... Oh, we do have reinforcements on the other side of the hill. Okay. So we actually had 6. So So we had 6 reinforcements. That's interesting. Okay, so that is a slight difference. So we really need to be aggressive here because we need to get eyes on that second group of enemies. Starting to overheat given the jungle environment. We'll just shoot what we can. Oh, lethal. Lethal hit on that griffin.
Enemy mech destroyed.
That was lucky. Lucky, 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 lucky. Alright, here comes that hunchback. Let's see what it goes after. Is it going to go after... No. Go after our archer. That's okay. Ooh, structural damage on our archer. That sucks, but... You know, it's going to happen sometimes. Alright, so we need to move our archer so it can get some firepower into their archer. So, wouldn't mind getting some additional archer parts. Especially since that archer had really low armor. Alright, so the archer switched from targeting the buildings, which is what we want. Oh, we got a pilot injury. Nah, that sucks.
Friendly structure down.
Okay, we gotta get these guys down quickly so we don't keep losing structures. We gotta keep moving up so we can get eyes on that second group of reinforcements. But we also want to finish off this archer. Can I just hit this center torso?
Locking on. All weapons.
No.
Reporting. Critical hit.
Right, that hunchback is going after the Hatchtman. That's actually
Critical hit.
pretty good. And it actually used melee instead of using its cannon, which doesn't really make sense to me. We should be able to just let the Hatchetman hopefully finish off this guy. That might take another round.
Reporting. Critical hit.
I mean, that's really what the Hatchetman is good at. So we're just gonna let it keep doing what it's good at, right? So hopefully we could finish off this archer here. There we go. So we'll get some archer parts.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Always good. I'd like to get a second archer available. I'm so greedy. You know, I just got my first archer and I'm already like, oh, I need to get our other archer, another archer. We're going to sprint our archer up, cool down, get vision on our second enemy force. Because we really need to press up and get them to start shooting us and not those buildings. So let's move our Marauder up as well. Alright, we're up. We got a Vulcan. A Vulcan that isn't jumping, which again, the AI is not using the new mechs correctly. So this Vulcan should never not jump,
That hit something good.
because it will be destroyed. Alright. Hatchetman, hold in there.
I can't take much more of this.
Alright, we need to have the Hatchetman hopefully finish off this Hunchback. There's not much left to it. There we go. We'll probably leave the Hatchetman down there. It's not really much very useful in the rest of the fight. We got a Phoenix Hawk and a Vulcan. I would like to put a Vulcan together because I don't have one yet. And I think I'm one part away. So I'd like to have a Vulcan just to have it. Just for these videos, I'd like to try the Vulcan out. So we'll move up the Orion. Again, the Vulcan has no evasion, and it's right next to an Orion. So that's very bad news for this Vulcan. Actually held up to that pretty well.
Warning.
push forward, get our archer into cover, and see if we can't hit this Phoenix Hawk. It's got pretty good evasion actually, but should be okay there. What we want to do is keep hitting these enemies so they keep going after us instead of those buildings. We're going to go ahead and hit this Phoenix Hawk again. Vectored thrust kit destroyed, which means it loses a lot of evasion. That is if they were jumping it, which is what the AI should be doing.
Good to go.
You know, that's kind of a disappointment that they're not using
On my way.
the new mechs the way they probably should. So we can actually use the Hatchtman here with its ACE, and we're going to do a precision strike on that center torso. See if we can finish off this Vulcan. There we go. Before it could shoot at our Orion. That was good. So now we got 2 enemies left. They're in a tough spot. Again, this is a classic scenario where the enemy... Oh, we have 3 enemies left. We got a Bulldog and a Manticore and this Phoenix Hawk. You would... In real life, these enemy mechs would probably say, you know what? We're not going to win this one. Let's just retreat. Because they have no chance of surviving this. And nobody is going to do a suicide mission realistically. So in real life, I would see these pilots just retreating. Because they just don't have the ability to stand up to what they're up against. Alright, the Manticore sprinted, so it did not fire. I guess we can jump the Hatchetman here. I don't want the Hatchetman to get too close. Because we don't really need him at this point. So we can hit the Manticore here. Manticores are actually pretty powerful. They're definitely the biggest threat right here. There goes the Manticore.
One more for the trash.
And we got a Bulldog. We should be able to finish off the Bulldog here. Again, I'm really curious to see if we can get some of the new cool weapons as part of the payment for the Flashpoint. Alright, there we go, last vehicle. And that's a successful Flashpoint mission. And Yang apparently likes the Hatchetman. I don't. Kind of funny dialogue there where Yang's like, ooh, it would be great if we could get a Hatchetman. And anybody who's played BattleTech is like, yeah, I don't want a Hatchetman. There's very little interest. So we got a huge payout here because it was a Flashpoint. Not bad. I'm always happy about that. We got a little structural damage on the Hatchetman, but then again, that isn't ours. And a little damage on the Archer, probably a day to repair, not significant. Alright, so we're going to take the Archer apart for sure. We've got lots of Hunchback parts. We've got Phoenix. Alright, so I need 2 parts for a Vulcan. I'm going to take one just because I want to try it out. And we got some other salvage given to us. But really the value is going to come right here. We're going to see what we're going to get as the payment. The final payment. All these flashpoints always give you something unique. When you complete them, I want to see if we're going to get something unique and cool. perhaps some new weapons, which we haven't seen. I haven't seen a lot of the new weapons yet. I think they've made the new weapons scarce because they're supposed to be severely technologically advanced. So maybe we'll get some of the new weapons in this payoff. Hopefully we're not freezing.
That thing you wanted is back online.
Alright, so we got a commando which we can sell. Alright, Joint Ventures Part 2. Thanks for the working on our mission, blah blah blah. If you've played this before, you know what this dialogue is. Alright, if not, you can obviously pause the video and look at the dialogue. This is what we want, the bonus for uncommon items. We got a leg mod. We got 2 parts of a banshee, a part of a grasshopper. I mean, that's okay. I'm not too excited about having banshee parts. I don't really like the banshee very much. The grasshopper part, eh. A large laser, a gyro plus. That is actually a nice thing to pick up. That's worth about 800 C-bills if you bought it. Large laser plus, that's good. Small laser plus accuracy doesn't really help you that. Ooh, LRM 20. We really need this for the archer, so that's also worth this mission. SRM 4 plus, that's good. Commando part, eh. A cockpit mod, we need that anyways, and another gyro. So that's actually a pretty good payout. We didn't get anything new or unique there, but realistically, that's actually a pretty good payout. Alright. So that was a successful mission. The archer's probably going to take a day to repair. Actually, cancel that because we want to refit the archer. I'll show you why. So if we take this LRM 20 out and we put in that LRM 20 plus, significantly increases our firepower. I wish this had more missile points because then I have other plus weapons that I would put in here. But we'll make do with what we have. 3 days, and we're going to increase our firepower for this archer by a good amount. That is nice. I will take that. Alright, so let's see. Our salvage. Do I want to keep a Jenner? No, I don't want to keep any of these, so let's just go ahead and send these to storage. Send that to storage. If you're here for battles, we're probably taking a break from battles. This will be the end of this video. We're just going to do some administrative stuff here. Do I want to have 2 Phoenixes available? I guess I can until I don't have room for it. Alright, we still have to take our Warhammer out for a ride. We'll do that soon. Let's go to the store. Now we've got a ton of money. Look at all the money that we have right now. Alright, so let's sell the stuff we don't want to keep. I'm going to keep the assassins. And we'll keep the Wolverine as a reserve. Actually, I might bring that Wolverine up. I might do that here. So let's take the Wolverine out and make it ready. That'll take a day, and then we'll have to put weapons on it. That's fine. But look at all the money we have right now. Kind of dangerous. I gotta say, it's kind of dangerous. What do we have for sale? Warhammer parts. But I already have a Warhammer. Victor parts, who cares? Assassin, I already have that. Not seeing anything here. Not seeing anything here that I want to buy in this. Sure, I could get 2 Warhammer parts, but nah, not really interested in that. All right, let's stop. Let's get our barracks organized. So for our next mission, that will be taken care of.
Good to go. Commander.
Ooh, Jekyll. Jekyll, we really need to get his guts up. His guts are way too low. So we can greatly increase his guts. That's very important. Surprised he didn't suffer an injury in that
What are your orders?
scenario. Alright, good. Opportunity to upgrade our guts on Twinkle here.
Mech warrior training complete.
Definitely want to do that.
Waiting for orders.
Alright.
Good to go.
So, ooh, our player character is going to be out for 23 days. That sucks.
Standing by.
I guess this gives us an opportunity to try to get some of these other pilots leveled up. Let's look at the bright side, right? So that's going to do it for this video. We'll talk to you soon. Please subscribe for another edition of Night Terror's Phantoms. We'll have episode 16 for you very shortly. So please subscribe so you know when it happens. We'll talk to you soon.